Hey, good morning. So we just had an election here in the UK last week, voting for people for the European Parliament. And I live in the Yorkshire and Humber region, and 10% of the people in this region, 10% voted for the far right-wing party, the British National Party. And this really shocked me. Actually, it does more than that. It made me really angry. Because when you read what this party is actually about, it's really hateful. What they do, this is just reading from their manifesto, I guess, is they would repeal the Race Relations Act. They would abolish laws against racial discrimination. They would use our foreign aid budget to resettle ethnic minorities living in Britain back to their original countries of origin, or their parents' countries of origin, and they state that that would be a firm but voluntary process. That may be how they want to start it off, but you can see where a policy like that is quite obviously going to head. You've got rid of the laws against racial discrimination. That means that you can pick easily people out who are black, who are Asian, who are from different backgrounds, and you can discriminate against them on the street. And they've stated that there would be a preference for indigenous white Britons in terms of school places and housing policy. And I know people are worried about immigration and its effect on housing policy, and people want their kids to go to the best school places. But do we really want a system that goes forwards that says, well, if you're black or if you're Asian, you don't have access to those things at all, even if you're an indigenous Asian Briton or a black Briton? It's just not correct. There would be a prescription against promoting racial integration in schools. So you wouldn't be able to have a book that shows black kids playing with white kids. That would be considered to promote racial integration. You wouldn't be able to talk about black religious festivals, Asian religious festivals within school, because that would be promoting racial and religious integration. And that's not the kind of society that I want to live in. We have 10% people in this country that are ethnic minorities, and given that situation, we shouldn't be sending them home and discriminating against them. We should be building a society that uses their skills, their abilities, as best we possibly can. It's not only their racist policies that really disgust me, frankly. They certainly want to open a debate about the nature of disability and the nature of healthcare. They state that new technologies make it possible to keep people alive well beyond previously realistic expectations at huge cost and sometimes limited quality of life. And they want to open a debate on what happens in that situation. It's obviously that the whole euthanasia debate is a difficult one, but I don't want these people to be opening a debate on that topic. Let's put it like that. They also want a massive public health awareness campaign on the dangers of sex with high-risk groups such as homosexuals and ethnic minorities and immigrants from regions of the world with high HIV risk. Now, I know that it's important that there is an education campaign about the risks of sexual contact. But again, I don't want these people running it, and I don't want what they describe as a re-education campaign. That implies something slightly more sinister and something slightly more coercive may be happening further down the line. And overall, this party is frankly disgusting. 10% of people in this region voted for them. If you count that in with UKIP, who don't subscribe to many of these policies, but are equally pretty tough on immigration and pretty tough on ethnic minorities and pretty tough on the EU in particular and European integration, 30% of people in this country then voted for very far right-wing policies and politicians, certainly further right than the mainstream of Conservatives and Labour Party. 30% of this country voted for that kind of agenda, 10% for this very far right-wing agenda that I've outlined here. I'm not saying that UKIP subscribe to this, but that's very worrying that that's the way the country's going. And frankly, we need to think what we do about this, and we need to make sure that liberal viewpoints are put across quite clearly, that people realise that tolerance is an important thing, that we are a mixed society, that we do have to live together, that people are different, and that there has to be a better way than simply trying to get rid of anyone that doesn't fit into your view of things. Okay.